This section introduces master planning of resources, focusing on aggregate planning concepts. Here, learners will understand how organizations plan capacity, workforce, and production levels at a macro level to meet demand efficiently. Aggregate planning connects strategic goals with operational execution and helps balance cost, demand, and resource utilization. This slide explains aggregate planning, which helps organizations decide the optimal production, inventory, workforce, and capacity levels for the next 3 to 18 months. The goal is to balance supply and demand at the lowest cost while meeting service requirements. Key decisions include how much to produce, workforce planning, subcontracting needs, and inventory strategy. The example shows how a furniture company uses aggregate planning to handle demand peaks by choosing between overtime and temporary workers. This slide covers the three main aggregate planning strategies: chase, level, and hybrid. Chase strategy matches production to demand each period. It keeps inventory low but causes frequent hiring and layoffs. Level strategy keeps output steady and uses inventory to handle demand changes. It offers a stable workforce but increases inventory cost. Hybrid strategy combines both to balance cost and stability, though it's more complex to manage. The Honda example shows how companies use a hybrid approach using flexible work hours and outsourcing to meet demand spikes without building excess inventory. This slide explains the purpose of sales and operations planning S&OP. S&OP integrates sales, operations, finance, and supply chain into one unified plan. Its core goals are two: balance demand and supply, align operational plans with financial targets, manage trade-offs between inventory, service level, and capacity. The example shows how companies use monthly S&OP meetings to align marketing promotions with factory capacity and budget forecasts. This slide explains the S&OP process cycle. The cycle starts with data gathering, collecting sales forecasts, inventory levels, and capacity data. Next, the demand review adjusts forecasts based on market insights, and the supply review checks production feasibility. In the pre-S&OP meeting, cross-functional issues are discussed and aligned. Finally, the executive meeting approves the integrated plan and sets final targets. This slide highlights the key outputs of the S&OP process. S&OP produces an approved production plan, along with workforce and capacity plans that guide operations. It also sets inventory and distribution targets to support service levels. Finally, it delivers a consensus demand forecast that ensures alignment with finance. The mini case study shows how P&G uses monthly S&OP reviews to create a single, accurate version of the forecast, reducing bias by over 30%. What is MPS? The Master Production Schedule converts the high-level aggregate plan into specific production quantities for each product and time period. It acts as the bridge between S&OP and MRP. The purpose of MPS is to decide what to produce, in what quantity, and when. It also provides essential input to MRP and capacity planning and ensures that the company can meet customer delivery commitments reliably. This slide explains three important concepts within the Master Production Schedule. Time fences. These define how flexible the schedule is. Frozen zone equals no changes allowed. Slushy zone equals limited changes. Liquid zone equals changes allowed freely. ATP available to promise shows how much inventory or capacity is available to accept new customer orders. FATP Final Assembly Schedule, used for custom or configurable products. It gives a detailed schedule of final assembly. Example, a tractor manufacturer uses MPS to plan weekly production for each model while balancing dealer demand with plant capacity and part availability. This slide highlights how we measure the effectiveness of the Master Production Schedule MPS. Adherence to MPS tracks how closely actual production follows the planned schedule. Customer Service Rate measures the ability to meet customer orders on time. Schedule Stability indicates how much the schedule changes. Less fluctuation means more stability. Changeover Frequency. Higher changeovers reduce efficiency and increase cost. Many case HP printers. HP used rolling MPS windows to handle short product life cycles, resulting in a 40% reduction in schedule changes. Our CCP, or Rough Cut Capacity Planning, checks whether the master production schedule is realistic by comparing required capacity with available capacity at key work centers. Key steps: convert the MPS into required load on critical work centers. Compare this load with available machine or labor hours. Adjust the production plan or increase capacity where gaps exist. Our CCP ensures the plan is feasible before moving into detailed scheduling. This slide explains the three main methods used in Rough Cut Capacity Planning. Bill of Resources Bureau uses a standard resource usage factor for each product type to estimate capacity needs. Capacity Planning using Overall Factors CPOF uses historical load ratios to quickly estimate required capacity. Resource Profile Method, more detailed. It simulates time-phased load on resources. Example: in the example, our CCP shows the assembly line is overloaded by 15%. To meet delivery commitments, the plant adds a second shift for 4 weeks. This slide highlights why our CCP is important. It prevents unrealistic production plans by checking capacity early. It improves coordination between planning and operations teams. It reduces last-minute firefighting, emergency outsourcing, and capacity surprises. Many case Caterpillar. Caterpillar uses our CCP within SAP IBP to validate MPS every week, ensuring key machining centers don't get overloaded. This slide shows how planning happens at different organizational levels. Corporate level creates the business plan focusing on long-term strategy, market direction, profit goals, and major investments 3 to 5 years. Operations level develops the aggregate plan or MPS, deciding product mix and capacity for the medium term 6 to 18 months. Execution level uses a weekly schedule to manage day-to-day order fulfillment days to weeks. Overall, it explains how high-level strategy flows down into operational and execution plans. This slide explains how high-level corporate goals must translate into operational metrics. Revenue growth is supported by operational KP is like OTIF, on time in full, and capacity utilization. Cost reduction aligns with productivity and yield improvement. Customer satisfaction is measured through lead time and fill rate. Sustainability goals connect to scrap rate and energy usage. The key message: strategic goals must cascade into measurable operational performance indicators. His slide shows how business plans are converted into operational and financial plans. A chemical company targeting 15% growth translates this into new shift patterns, increased supplier contracts, and higher material budgets. Finance aligns budgets accordingly so operations and financial plans support the same goal. Mini case: Nestle uses IBP to link financial targets with each region's MPS and budget, ensuring production plans support corporate profit and cash flow objectives.